Hi, everyone. On this edition of Scouting for Growth, I will be joined by Dennis Kelly, CEO of Postalytics, a fast-growing software company that automates direct mail marketing, measures the results from those direct mailing activities, and connects such campaigns to CRM and marketing automation systems to accelerate the way online marketing connects with offline marketing. With expertise building VC-backed businesses as well as self-financed businesses, Dennis is a 6-time entrepreneur with the business he built. He exited 4 of these businesses to large corporations. Postalytics has grown fast with no VC investment, actually, and Dennis will tell you all about this. And today, Postalytics is scaling in the US and in Canada with aspiration to come to Europe. During our discussion, we intend to cover a few things. Dennis's lessons building VC-backed and self-financed businesses. I wanted to find out about what PLG meant, product-led growth, and why every businesses need to learn about it. And then let's dive into Postalytics, the proposition, the roadmap to success, and the revenue model. If you like the podcast, do not forget to subscribe, rate it, and provide a comment here below. If there is a topic that you feel needs addressing, just ping me using the information detailed below as well. So let's welcome Dennis. So, Dennis, welcome to Scouting for Growth.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here today.
Well, thank you for accepting the invitation. And it's an honor to have you on our podcast, Dennis, because I remember reading that you're a 6-time entrepreneur with exits into big companies. And so it would be great if you could give us a little bit of background around who is Dennis Kelly and what got you to build Postalytics, please.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, I've been involved in starting various technology-related ventures for the last 30 years. And, I think that my childhood had somewhat to do with the fact that I'm attracted to the entrepreneurial lifestyle. I grew up on a farm. And my family and I had to work very, very hard, and we were very entrepreneurial always in trying to find ways to, make a little bit of extra money from all of the hard work that we had around the farm. And so I was encouraged at a young age to reach out to neighbors and people in the community to offer my services to help them with whatever it is they were doing. And so I think at a very young age, I've learned some of the lessons that are still applied today of not being afraid to knock on somebody's door and tell them what you're doing and how you can help them, and try to explain things in a clear way that people understand, and that sometimes that leads to success. And so I feel very fortunate in that regard. I began my career working at a very large corporation in Manhattan, and had a couple of great years of training and learning, but I really felt like I would rather spend my career being in more control of my destiny. And so at a young age, I set out to join a startup in the Boston area here. And that's really how I got started as an entrepreneur. And we've learned a tremendous amount over the years and have had some successes, and I've had one failure along the way. And so each time that you participate in a startup, there's always tremendous learning and things that you can take away from that. And so I feel very fortunate that I've had these experiences, and I'm thrilled to be able to speak about them with you.
So let's go into Postalytics. Tell us, what does Postalytics do and how it helps its customer be more successful in the direct mail space?
So Postalytics is a direct mail automation software tool. And essentially, the product is designed to solve three big problems with the direct mail marketing workflow. So direct mail is a legacy marketing channel. It's been around for many, many years, and but it's still very useful and successful. But there has not been a lot of technology that has been applied to the direct mail marketing channel. As everybody knows, email has blown up, and social media and digital marketing, and so all of the investment and all of the energy from a technology standpoint have been applied to these newer marketing channels. And so what we've done with Postalytics is we've taken some of the best practices from digital marketing, and we've applied them to a software tool that enables marketers to rapidly deploy direct mail campaigns in minutes rather than weeks. And so we cut the production time and all of the complexity and vendors that need to be coordinated down to make it very, very simple. So that's number one. Number two, we connect direct mail, which is a physical channel, something that prints a piece of paper and is sent through the postal service. It is connected into the marketing tech stack. So your CRM, your marketing automation tool, your CDP, all of these tools can drive and then have knowledge of what happens in a direct mail campaign through Postalytics. Similar to the way that all of the other marketing channels, the digital channels, are all driven from these central locations. So that's number two, is the integration. Third are analytics. One of the challenges with any offline marketing channel is, how do we measure what is successful? How do we measure who is responding or who is not responding? And so we've created some proprietary methods of measuring both the delivery of the mail as well as who's responding and where are they going on your website. And so by combining these three things, speed, integration, and analytics, we've created a software tool that many marketers are finding is very valuable as they begin to deploy direct mail to complement their digital and email marketing.
So I'm going to be a little bit controversial, because you know what? I've not done direct mail marketing forever. I used to do those, and I used to send a gift. You know, there would be a letter, but there would always be a gift. And the gift would always be linked to the campaign in play. And I remember doing a campaign around unlocking power of technology. And it was like in little red box. And inside there was, at the time, an Apple iPod, the tiny ones. And then they would be sent to an executives, and they would have to put their earbuds on and listen to the story I had on that little iPod for them, which would be inviting them maybe to a dinner. There was a lot of innovation. But I've not done that for a long time, Dennis. So can you tell us what has been the challenge around direct mail marketing, and where is the opportunity today?
Absolutely. So I think that there are several challenges that we've attempted to address in Postalytics in a very effective way. So we've taken a lot of what we'll call friction, the complexity, out of the equation and made it feel and look more like a digital channel. But I think one of the big things that has changed in the last several years is the use of QR codes. And so what we've done is we've created a method of assigning a unique QR code to each recipient of a piece of mail. And so the primary opportunity is really to use that physical piece of paper, of an offer, of something that grabs you while you're holding it, and drive them to your website, drive them online through the QR code. And so what's really changed in the last few years is the acceptance of QR code and the mass usage of QR codes for many things. 5 years ago, not as many people were comfortable. They didn't know how to use QR codes, and it wasn't part of their daily routine. Now, if you go to a restaurant, you don't get a paper menu anymore. You use a QR code. And so everybody is now comfortable. And so when they see something, they say, scan this QR code to receive your offer. It's very easy. And so now that's very easy for us because we've created a patented way of leveraging personalized QR codes in direct mail campaigns. And so that's been a big key to the success of Postalytics, and for really marketers to be able to integrate a physical channel with their digital properties, using the QR code as a bridge between the two.
Yeah, so we have communication speed, we have integration, and we have analysis. Now, how do you protect your clients as well when you look at this digitized version of direct mailing? What I mean by protecting is we've seen and we've heard in recent months that, QR code are not always as safe as they used to be because it's used as a channel by, cyber security attacker to swap the code and replace them with one which would lead to their website. How do you protect the buyer, the user, the recipient from this type of risk, Dennis?
That is a great question. And I think going back to that underlying patent that we've been issued around the QR codes, when a QR code is generated through Postalytics, every single piece of mail has a unique QR code that is assigned only to you. And so when if you receive a flyer in the mail and it had a QR code, that would be, and that specific piece of mail, different than mine, number one. Number two, they are using secure encryption when the QR code is scanned. And so it is impossible for the QR codes to be manipulated by a third party, and because each one of them are unique and all of the communication is fully encrypted.
Super. So I know that you've built Postalytics without any investor funding, and that is something I think which is getting rarer and rarer to build a business. And so I would love, Denise, if you could share with our listener what got you into the journey to build businesses and scaling businesses and building this unique business without any financing.
Well, I think that there's been a fundamental shift, particularly in the software world, around the necessary investment in order to create a substantial business. And what I'm really trying to get at is the cost of creating a very highly scalable, high performance platform in the cloud has plummeted. It is so much less expensive. And so what I've tried to do here at Postalytics is to partner with a highly technical person who could build the software, the initial versions of the software, without having to hire big teams and have a significant amount of presence. So very senior software architect who is capable of building software from all the way from the user interface down into the database. And so he's my business partner. He's the chief technology officer. And so by having some very senior people who have built businesses and built technology as the starting point, you're able to do so much more without spending a huge amount of money. And so we were able to build Postalytics from a cost structure, from both a technology standpoint in Amazon Web Services and the cloud, very inexpensively. And then from a customer acquisition standpoint, using SEO marketing and building a platform that enables us to capture customers with a low cost, not have to hire salespeople that are very, very expensive and have long sales cycles. The business model is one that allows us to capture customers without a tremendous outlay of capital. And because of these two things, we did not need to go raise huge amounts of money to get this business off the ground. And once we got the business going, it became self-sustaining, and we were able to, make grow at a very strong clip, and do so right around the break-even level. So we're not going into huge debt, nor are we trying to pull all the money out and put it in our pocket. It's going into growing the business.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to scale and build a business. Can you remind us how old is Postalytics? And can you also tell us where are you located today and maybe any plans for the future?
Yes. So Postalytics is now in our 6th year of operation. I can't believe it. It's the time has flown by. It's really amazing. And we are based in the United States currently. We have employees spread out all over remotely, and we have contractors all over the world that contribute to Postalytics. And we are in operations in the United States and Canada. We've recently moved into Canada, our first move outside of the United States, and that's starting to ramp up and go very well. And we hope to launch in the EU in either later 2023 or early 2024.
And so who is your customer? Is it somebody like me who buys the offer, and how do you help them, achieve result? It would be great to talk about the customer and the result they can achieve as well.
Yes. So typically our customer is a business that is between 20 and 1,000 employees that has invested in their own technology for CRM and marketing automation. And so they'll typically have a Salesforce backend or a HubSpot backend, or one of the major marketing tech stacks that they've invested in. And they're doing email marketing, they're doing digital marketing, and they're beginning to run into some challenges. Their open rates for the emails are going down. The cost of their digital campaigns is going up, and they need to find a new way to augment their efforts. And so that's where Postalytics comes in. We take this new channel that is physical and offline. It plugs into the stack that they've already spent money on and they've built the automation around. And then Postalytics will add that physical touch to your digital campaigns. And so we've seen with several customers increases in existing campaign ROI up to 150% by adding this physical touch to all of your existing marketing. And so that is our customer. It is a savvy, technology-focused marketing team of a small to mid-sized business that is looking for ways to augment the investment they've already made into their marketing tech.
And the interesting thing is, I was doing a little bit of research before our chat, actually, Dennis, and I collected a few numbers, which I thought was interesting when you started talking about CRM and, the landscape which exists internally within each of these organizations. So when you look at the marketing tech market, it's included around 7,500 ventures. And over the past 10 years, they have actually raised 87 billion USD dollars in funding. Now, last year, which is 2022, this number went down compared to 2021. So last year, those companies have raised around 9 billion USD dollars when they actually raised around $14 billion a year before. So, a little bit of a cliff, but at the end of the day, when I look at the numbers from CB Insight recently, the whole market has gone down by 35%. And, me being an expert in fintech, I would say the number for fintech is around 35%, and insurance technology, 58%. Now, the most valued business models include content marketing, content creation, e-commerce, and conversion rate optimization platform. So I took those four because I thought it was interesting, because you fall into the direct mail automation, so helping with that conversion and optimization angle. And within your space, there are actually only 26 companies, and you guys have raised $1 billion, and you build a business with no funding. So I thought it was very interesting. So I would like to go now into more around, why, the market is changing and accepting that direct mail goes into now a digital presence. And I would love for you to talk to us about the alignment and misalignment with, what we used to be able to see when we built a business model. We had product-led business model. We had technology-led business model. We had marketing-led business model. It would be great to hear your perspective around where's the world of marketing going.
Yes, I love talking about the business models. And, part of the reason why we were able to build Postalytics without raising a lot of capital, going back to the discussion earlier, is that we chose to take a product-led growth model. And so going back to the discussion about cost, we were able to build the initial version of the software, deploy it in the cloud without a tremendous amount of cost, and then use the product-led model to have a low cost of customer acquisition. And so, I think that the choice of which business model you pursue has to do with the market that you're chasing, right? So if I were trying to sell to the largest corporations in the world, I would need to go raise money, right? Because it takes a much larger investment, long sales cycles, very expensive salespeople. But I'm choosing to sell to that mid-tier, like the smaller businesses who have already invested in technology, right? So they are searching for solutions online, and they find, direct mail can now be automated. Wow, this is new. Maybe I'll check that out. And so, we use our content marketing to drive people to the website. We have a free version of the software. So the whole notion around product-led growth is drive people into the software and get them engaging, let them try it. And so what we're able to do then is analyze the people that are signing up for the free software, look at how they're using the software, and then our sales team can assist in helping them evaluate the software and assist in helping them get their first campaigns off the ground and do some tests and proof of concepts. And that is really the essence of the product-led growth model that we've adapted and for this particular business. And so, I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity there, particularly if you're hoping to bootstrap a business like what we've done. And that doesn't mean that you can't be very successful following other business models where, it's a technology-centric approach, say, Chat GPT, right?
I was going to ask you.
Right? I mean, it's crazy. It's amazing. And so there are many, many ways to be successful, but I think you need to think of your customer and the way that they like to buy things and how do they want to purchase? And then you build a model around that.
Actually, yesterday night, I had a little bit of a live with a close friend of mine on LinkedIn, and we actually decided to look at ChatGPT. And it would be great to get your view on the capability because, when you start looking at the value chain of marketing, sales and marketing, you have content creation, as I mentioned, and you have technology enabling you to content create. And so I assume ChatGPT, OpenAI will fall into that. You have solution helping you, as you mentioned, to automate, analyze and engage. And you already combine, I guess, the automation and the analysis and the engagement into one platform. Now I have an ethical issue with ChatGPT because as a writer myself, as an educator, so I teach at business school as well, an MBA course for an executive MBA. If I were not doing my research and I just use ChatGPT to create my content, would that be a little bit cheating? And that is what crossed my mind. Can you tell us where maybe the best use of ChatGPT could be within the marketing environment, Dennis?
Yes, I think from our perspective, one of the worst things in marketing is to look the same as everybody else. And so if you were to solely rely on an algorithm to generate your content, how do you know that you are unique? How do you know that your audience will perceive you as having something of value to say if everybody can do the exact same thing? And so one of our core concepts, one of the reasons why we believe marketers need to be trying direct mail now in a new and smart way is to stand out, because most marketing teams are following the exact same playbook. They're all doing the content marketing, they're all doing digital marketing, that everybody is following the experts and telling you what to do, and so it's become very copycat out there. And when you Google something, you type in a search phrase, you look through 15 articles that all say nothing, right? It's the brands that can generate content that is unique and is insightful and different. Those are the brands that stand out. Those are the brands that will win. And so, with these amazing tools that we have access to, if brands think that they can just rely on them, they're wrong. The brands must use these tools to augment their human resources.
Yeah.
To assist. And I kind of look at it like spell check. If you're typing along and something tells you, no, you don't want to do that. Fix it, right? That's really the way that this will work, in a new and incredible way, of course. But it will need to be led by a unique insight that will be created to separate a brand from all of the other competitors out there.
Yeah. I was so I played with it, right? And I think the content that came out of it was good. Now, when I look at my my ethical and my level of integrity, I said, okay, useful. Maybe I can use this to. So this week, for example, I was asked to write 10 trend article, and I still am saying to people, I'm really sorry, but I am not a trend machine. And so I played with the platform, and so I asked questions, insurance questions, and some of the content which came out was actually interesting, but I started getting really uncomfortable, like this discomfort in your tummy. When I then did my search on Google, right? And I said, okay, let me ask for the same question on Google. And then there was a gap on timing, market sizing. And so I realized there is maybe for factual things and definition, like this, if you think about AI, you need to do automation, analytics, engagement as an example, fine. And it just creates the structure for you. No problems. It helps you to not start with a blank piece of paper. But then when I started looking at factual things, right, when you actually have to do some research and identify the case study and looking at the market size, I didn't think that was there. And so your point around productivity improvement and being able to do more with less time, I think is powerful. And I think we need to remember that as well.
Yes. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're thinking about this the correct way. And you can do more with a tremendous new tool, but it will not replace the originality and the spark that of ingenuity that creates great marketing, in my opinion.
So when you look at your business model, Dennis, and everybody is talking about monetization today, how do you help your customer? How do you see monetization within your own business model? And how do you see your proposition evolving in the future?
Yes. So what we have tried to do with Postalytics is align our monetization with the usage of the software. And so the more the software is being used, the more money is spent by the customer. And so the idea is essentially to align our interests around success. So if the customer is seeing success, they use the software more and we make more money. If they're not being successful, then we're in this together. It was something that didn't work, then we're not going to trap them into some relationship that is very expensive and they leave very dissatisfied. So it's our objective to help our customers be successful. So they use the software longer, they use the software more, and they spend more money, and they feel good about that. And that's really one of the fundamental concepts around the product-led growth and then usage-based revenue that we are trying to implement here. Yes. And so it's very exciting and fun to feel like our success is 100% tied to our customer's success.
That's superb. I'll give you a little bit of a story which happened this morning. One of my service provider marketing platform, automation platform, sent me a lovely email saying, Sabine, would you like to pay your 12 months in advance just to lock the price? And I was reading and said, okay, are you going to give me 2 free months if I'm paying you in advance? No, there was no free months. They're just locking the price. Now, I started using this platform 2 years ago. And for 1 year, they overcharged me. And it took me a year to get my money back. So I have a guess. It's unlikely that I'm going to pay them 12 months in advance. However, I thought it's funny because you were talking about value. And the value for marketing is actually immediate, right? You see whether the platform is delivering value to you or not. And then you make the appropriate decisions accordingly.
That's right. And so our challenge as a business is to help our customers be successful. What can we do? How can we provide service? How can we provide content and knowledge and education so that our customers, when they use the software, are using it in a way that will more likely lead to success.
Yeah.
So that's our real challenge, is we are trying to often teach people how to be better marketers and therefore get success, because we know that, direct mail channel works if done well, but if it's not done well, it's like any other marketing. It's if we tell customers all the time, if you send one email out to a bunch of customers and never follow up with another touch, how successful will you be?
Yeah,
Because,
and
of course, we'll not do anything.
Yeah.
And we say, well, the direct mail is no different. It has to be part of an integrated campaign that is thoughtful. It has a strong call to action and a strong offer and great creative. And it has to be a part of something that is touching the customer multiple times. And so when you do that, you will be very successful. And part of what we have to do is help people understand how to implement successful marketing campaigns.
Absolutely. So my last question to you, Dennis, is actually about some tips and techniques you could actually leave for our audience today. So if there were a few recommendations, what would those be?
Well, I think going back to that very last comment we just discussed, we have created some ways in Postalytics to make it very easy to set up what we call multi-touch campaigns. So you can set up creative and you can set up schedules within the software very quickly so that you will touch your audience 4, 5, 6 times over the period of a couple of months in an automated way. And going back to what we were discussing, the most successful campaigns are those that anticipate multiple touches across multiple channels. And so from our perspective, if we can leave one tip for customers, if you're going to try direct mail as a channel, it's either, I did it 20 years ago, but I haven't done it since, or I've never done it, but I want to try to add direct mail. The success or failure will depend upon all of the same things that apply to all of your other channels. You have to touch these customers. So use the technology, use the automation that has been created to set up multiple touches with great creative, and you'll have great success.
Thank you so much for this great advice. So Dennis, where could our listener find you? Where are you?
Absolutely. We are at our website is postalytics.com. That's Postalytics.com. So it's postal and analytics put together. And so check us out there, log into it, create a free account, play with the software for free, learn how to use this. Secondly, LinkedIn. We're very active on LinkedIn. And so look us up, Postalytics on LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn personally, Dennis John Kelly at LinkedIn. And so please reach out. We love to talk to customers. We love to talk to prospects. And we're so excited to talk to you today and to your audience.
Thank you for coming. And what I will make sure is that the details from Postalytics, from you, Dennis, and access to your website is also made available via the podcast channels and the YouTube channel when we actually publish our discussion. And I would say to people, it's lovely to meet Dennis. It's great to have actually different conversation around how technology can enable us to grow as businesses, but also listening to your growth story. Not everybody needs to raise funding from investors, and you have been doing that for a while, right? And so if people want to reach out just to get some techniques, ideas, and talk to you about your successes, they also should use the details which appear at the bottom of the podcast. I would say, if you like what you've heard, subscribe, rate, and comment. And please let me know who else you want to talk to, because great stories like Dennis's are always welcome on the podcast. So thank you, Dennis, for being here with me today and
Thank you,
showing us
Sabine.
how
This was
business
great.
can be built.
Absolutely. Thrilled to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and your audience.
Thank you. If you like this podcast, subscribe now, share with your friends, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a 5-star review. Also, if you want to cover any specific subject with me, contact me on Instagram under Sabine VdL Officials or LinkedIn under Sabine VdL. Thank you.